You'll not want to miss this twin flame astrology report for the month of March. It is going to be not only explosive, but it's also about bringing and harnessing the divine liquid love within yourself and finding that union within. And this is about creating the relationships that you've been desiring for your entire life, basically. And all that seeking of love outside of yourself is really inside of you. And the energy for this month is connecting in such a way that you can get in the current of love and you can navigate this journey in a way it's going to take you not only through the divine love, but to the love of your life. So stay tuned. Hello, everyone. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when all my videos and content come live. Before we get started, I want to make sure you guys know that our card deck, the Twin Flame Ascension card deck, comes out in March of 2020. So make sure to get your deck reserved in the links below, because you will not want to miss the energy that this deck can bring into your life and help navigate you in such a way that you discover that you are the one. And today I have the astrology report with Tatiana that's come back to share with us some really great expansive energy, because I can already feel it. And we talked about that multi-orgasmic release for February. So I can really tell that we're about to explode in March. So I can't wait to hear. I'm going to turn it over to you, Tatiana, because I know we're going to have an explosion happen in March. I can feel it.
Thank you, Harmony, for having me back in the channel. Thank you, everyone, for watching and following us and this journey. Oh my gosh, March will set up a complete different energy. And the first, let's say, week, we will still be a little bit in this Capricorn energy that we have discussed in the previous video. So if you have not watched them, in order to get context, please go do that. So you have a context of where we're coming from. A lot of still the Capricorn energy of responsibility, duty, the government, the power, you know, all of that being brought out in the mix. A lot of exposure of the nasty, a lot of stuff like that coming up. So the first week of March, there's Mars and Venus, the planets that are representative of the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. They're traveling together for still quite a while. And this is the first time that they travel together so long. So this means that there is this kind of desire of soul to really come into that union. This month is a huge union, month. Not only this month, it's February, March, April, May. These months are these portal passages for that Hieros Gamos kind of, okay, we can do this, twin flames, we're in. It's an opportunity portal. Venus and Mars and Pluto are going to be together. Pluto brings out all the shadow. So if we still have relationship shadow, anything that has to do with power dynamics, obsessions, you know how you get attachments, well, it's going to show up its ugly face. So we can recognize it and shift it, elevate it, and move it away from our lives if necessary. It needs to die. So anything from previous relationship structures needs to die, because new templates are really going to be anchoring in the planet as of this month. The new twin flame template we have been talking about for ages is finally going to start crystallizing and showing itself in ourselves and all our relationships. So that energy could also bring a lot of sexual healing. So for you out there who are really tuned into tantric practices, really make sure that sexuality is really brought forth with care, consciousness, because it could unleash lots of deep trauma, shadow. So when we put passion and raw passion together, there could be either a lot of healing or a lot of lusty, yucky energy. So be careful of predators. Energy predators are going to be lurking in the shadows as well. Power dynamics, power trips, so all of that, it's only there for us to recognize it. So people who might be feeling this kind of in a difficult way might be all the cardinal signs, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, Libra. You might be feeling these uncomfortable relationship things coming up. That could be for those people. And again, it depends on your exact birthday. It depends on your whole chart. So this is a little bit generic, but if you want a reading, you can always get one if you want to know how you play out these things. So that's that. Harmony, what do you have to say about this first energy, entries of energies?
Well, everything you're saying does not surprise me. And I feel like that the opening portal is the 222 of 2022 portal that is exactly what you said, the birth of the new templates, the new timelines, new relationships, new structures, foundations of all of the different systems that we have, whether it be, financial, government, educational, all these systems are rebuilding. So what happens though, what people need to realize, this is a convergence between the timelines. And that means we will still be like cleaning up debris, what is still not working. And especially this is not just for our individual selves, but we're talking like a collective orgasmic release here, basically. And that is because it's the collaboration of the collective energy that is creating such a united force in order to create the new world and literal in the new world. One of the things that I think can really help people is to really focus on the love within, the self-care, the embodiment of this, and to be able to really focus within their body, as in listening, pay attention, bring balance. Been doing a lot of Kundalini yoga with Julian, and we're doing some different types of yoga that's bringing balance, bringing heaven to earth, and the sun salutations and the kriyas and all these things. What I'm seeing in that, it's opening the meridians up within the body and bring up the space that we have trapped all this trauma and all these emotions within our body. And so to be really consistent with this, it will be a time of cleansing in your physical being. And unity in yoga stands for bringing the breath, the body, the brain into balance.
As you were talking, I got this download about breath. Doing like breath work, like really intense breath work. For example, if you don't have necessarily your twin with you, or a partner or a soulmate or anybody to work with, I'm just doing a lot of really intense breath work can help release from, the templates of whatever, that same trapped energy. That is that lusty, energy. It's like that lower vibrational lusty energy that is still kind of trapped in the planet, that unfortunately is seen with all these horrific things around, trafficking and all that stuff, like human traffic, and all that yucky energy can be also released from our cellular memory, collective memory, by doing things like intense breathing, and hopefully do it in a setting where you have somebody to accompany you, because sometimes, holotropic breath work, for instance, can be really helpful for these kinds of transformational, breakthroughs in releasing that lower, let's say lower vibrational energies. In the same week, the things that this first week has, again, the stone of that. And at the same time, we have the sun, which is the light of what wants to be expressed in the world, conjunct Jupiter. And Jupiter goes, expands everything, huge. And these two are in Pisces. And that's the second energy that's going to be huge come the month of March, April, May. It's almost a dissolution. There's an awakening. We've been awakening, but this is, once Jupiter is there, it's that big push. Like you said, that expansion is like, it's going to blow up. Yes. When Jupiter is there, it's going to blow it up. It's going to make people really want to connect more to spirituality, really connect more to themselves, to their essence, and it dissolves the ego. It's not anymore about me, my little person, and my selfish desires. It's going to be about, optimism and compassion, infinite compassion. However, to every energy, there is its shadow. If you have been really working on yourself, you can be open to immense compassion, immense gifts, total connection with the others. If not, what could happen is there could be delusions, being, like the God complex, like, oh, I am Jesus and I can save everybody. That kind of thing could also come in the psyche. So One thing is being spiritually connected and having mystical experiences, and another very different one is maybe having some kind of psychosis, having a god complex. So just take it as is with humility. These energies are really powerful when they're taken with humility. So they're given, so the heart connection and the connection to source and the divine is just pure. So this is when we just move aside. In your book, it's a lot of times like you say, get yourself out of the way. Because if you get out of the way, meaning you're not saying, I want this for myself, this is what I want to create, but you say, what does spirit want? I'll get out of my way. It's like the floodgates of heaven pouring through you as a channel. And each person will live it differently. So anybody that has like water signs in their charts, like Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a beautiful time for you. I would say that for people like Virgos and Sagittarius and Gemini might fall into the other category, of possible inflation. So just be careful not to fall in that. And we'll have the new moon in this first week as well. So you see all these energies we have described, from the powerful raw energies of sexuality and transformation to the magical connections of incredible spiritual awakenings. These are going to be the seeds for the new templates, because this is when the ego structures begin to really dissolve and we can start getting in a mush, because Pisces is like putting something that dissolves like ink and it just becomes this mush. It just dissolves it. So you're no longer these rigid structures, because it wants everything to kind of go back to the solution to create the birth of the new structures, which everything is kind of always overlapping. It's not one way or the other. So that's the first week energies. And then the second week, this is when it really starts shifting. And I'm going to share with you now the main energies, now the second week. The energies that we'll see are mostly the Piscean energy is going to be huge. So you see, this is Pisces here. And whether you know astrology or not, that's not the point. It's the archetype of Pisces, is the archetype of the divine, the veil, the ocean of consciousness, that is beyond everything, source, creator, whatever you want to call it. It's fluid, it's permeable, it's mutable. You cannot get it. It's like water. You put water in your hand, it can't contain it. That's that archetype. And we are going to have a flood of that. And when I say flood, it could be either floods of consciousness or actual floods, or maybe, a lot of water. So the idea is to use the element of water in the most positive way. So when the sun and Jupiter in Pisces, and they are in a very happy conversation with the South Node. The South Node is that we remember, that we've been there, done that. So because it's a beautiful aspect with it, it's almost will unlock Akashic memory. There will also be this twin flame energy with Venus and Mars that are still there. There could be these meetings of your soulmates or the twin flames or the souls that you remember and you just don't know from where. And as we have been evolving in the twin flame journey, we already all know that the twin flame journey is not a person, but the twin flame is an energy template that gets actualized as we move forward. And then the vibrational frequencies of the different aspects of self come together to keep actualizing that energy. In this sense, there's going to be a lot of that. So maybe a lot of unions. And again, union can be just the pure, amazing union of your spiritual self with source. Isn't that divine? That's not the most divine thing. I don't know what is. So I am hoping that these floods of energy that are coming from the cosmos will help all of us get in touch with that divine self. This is the main thing for week 2. And there is Venus and Mars are ingressing in Aquarius. So the energy of Aquarius is this. You see, it's the energy of the future. It's the energy where everybody's holding hands together. There's no me, myself, and I. It's us, the human family, completely in the future. So this is the activation of those future templates and the relationship templates of the future. Venus and Mars coming in Aquarius don't want to be tied down. They don't want somebody to tell you, you're mine. I love you. What do you need to express yourself fully? This, that, great. I need this, that. It's the quintessential free relationships. Mm-hmm. So not to be confused with promiscuity, because that's kind of like the other side of the coin. Free love can be interpreted as, woo, everybody with everyone. And it could get very quickly nasty triangles, situations that are not necessarily sustainable or healthy. So remember that always the positive is the unconditional love is very different from free love for all. And that lends itself to abuses. So it's not fallen to that. And because the mind will be attuned to the magical realms, Mercury is going to also be in Pisces. So when Mercury moves into Pisces, it's almost like everything attunes. It's these antennas. I don't know if you remember Mac. It's these that are literally connecting us to all that is out there. And maybe we're going to have more contact with the light beings, ETs, lots of people are going to have third eye explosions. All of that could happen within this time. So again, great time for art, for dance, for anything that is right brain, not left brain. This is not a great time for, let's do our accounting, let's get our things, like, let's, it's not a great time because you're going to be a little bit like, This is a great time for allowing the floodgates of inspiration. That's the word. Inspiration comes from in spiritu, in spirit. So when we go in spirit, within, through right brain activities, we can connect to the magic of the flow, the vortex, where you're in the vortex and you're so connected, you don't even know where time is. That's this kind of energy. And now beware, this is always the positive. The negative of this is, I'm lost. I can't grasp. I have no ground. I'm in the middle of the ocean. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I need a joint. Big recommendation with these energies, please stay away, if you can, from anything that numbs you or from any escapist things. Why? Because you'll be completely disconnected and almost missing out on the actual opportunity of grounding. So this is why grounding practices, when there's too much water, we need to flow with it, but make sure we're still in our bodies, not out of them. So if you add to this energy that dissolves anything, something like this or something like that, it's just going to completely disconnect you from your body. And you might completely miss out on the point of this. So again, it's all your choice. So you are all responsible for your actions. And I pulled a card from our Twin Flame deck because I'm talking about taking responsibility. It's interesting because I pulled 2 cards before the session from our Twin Flame deck.
I'm so excited about that.
What came out was acknowledge. I mean, it's kind of backwards, but it says take responsibility. So what comes with this is exactly that. Is right now we're entering the vortex of our divine alignment with what the divine wants us to be in the world. And taking responsibility means that now there's no excuses. Once you're awakened, you're awakened. I mean, when you see, you see. You cannot go like, oh, I see. No, I don't really see. I'm going to keep doing all these things that are bad for me, bad for my body, bad for others, for the environment. Like this is this kind of, nope, you can't get back to that because that's what has not worked. And now it's up to us to step up and take responsibility for our actions, our thoughts, our words, and make sure it's aligned, it's in full coherence with our being. Because what happens is going out of alignment means we're not coherent with what we think, say, and do. Mm-hmm. That's when the thing goes sideways.
In addition to that card, it represents all of our many aspects. So for all of you that have wondered about reserving your deck and how to get your copy, you can find the link for the United States to reserve your deck through my link below. And Tatiana has a link if you're in Canada. And then there'll be information if you're in some other country, you can find out your nearest distributor to you. And there'll be details for that below. Mm-hmm. So can you put that back up again, Tatiana, to show that? So like each of those keys is like a key to an aspect within yourself that you're acknowledging, that you're collecting, and that you're creating wholeness within. And so we've been going through all of this trauma in order to revisit the parts of ourselves we have disassociated with, or we have disconnected from, that we have not acknowledged those parts of ourselves, that we can now see them, feel them, and heal them as we become whole and complete and one again to move forward in this new way.
Yes, and absolutely. Then this is like, you see, this is the first 2 weeks. Now the second half really has a lot of that Aquarian energy and the Pisces energy mostly. And there's going to be really a tug of war between the old structures and the new structures. Saturn is going to be squaring the nose. And who's Saturn? Here, my little friend Saturn here. Saturn, and you see, Saturn has these rings almost representing limitation. Saturn, it just creates limitation and structure. So you can take responsibility. Once you have a limitation, that's when you, because having a difficulty means you have to figure something out to grow. It's like the drill sergeant saying, if you do like the 100 pushes, you're going to be very strong afterwards. You're like, I don't want to do it, right? Then you're like, oh my gosh, it was worth the hard work. So that's a little bit of what Saturn wants of us. And the thing with Saturn right now is that it will be like squaring the nodes. The nodes are those points in space that archetypally want to push evolution forward. And when there's this difficult conversation, it's almost like it's this crossroad again. It's always this crossroads between the old structures and the new structures. Regardless, it's structure. So what structures are we creating? You just said that exactly like a few minutes back. So first of all, acknowledging what we, like, being aware and taking responsibility and taking actions into these new structures. And it's going to be this kind of uncomfortable, things are breaking down, things are new, it's difficult, it's uncomfortable. It's not comfortable.
And the bridging the gap between that old and new, the way I see it, is bridging the gap of the quantum leap, meaning like we're moving regardless. So we can either fight the process and get on our own way, as you mentioned, or we can surrender to the process and we can let go and we can make the choice to go with that flow and make every thought, feeling, action count in a place of power, and to know that what the outcomes are and how we take responsibility for that is our choice. And when we discern that it is our choice and we stop limiting ourselves to all this confinement that we've been under and this limitation of the past, we can choose to see everything with a new perception and see the limitless in it. And we can choose to live in that space. And that's living and bringing the quantum into your reality, to go from limited to limitless from a state of being just through the way you view things.
Wow, yes. Whoa, exactly. Just what are you aligning with, basically?
So it's like choose your timeline, choose your reality.
Choose it. Yeah, choose it. And there's the thing is that now that we're going to have a lot of Pisces, now we're full into this Piscean soup, right? And there's going to be a kind of a difficult aspect with that Venus-Mars that we said, the relationship, and then suddenly we find this free love. Oh my gosh, it's possible. Beware that it doesn't become now comitophobia, because it could, right? It could be like, oh no, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it doesn't matter, And
that's that bridge that you can't be on one side or the other. You literally got to choose which side you're going to be on. Or you're going to either be shoved into it, or you're going to be put in a place to really like get in your way and fight the process. And that's going to create havoc in your life.
Yeah. So for example, it could be a desire for too much sexual freedom. Like, okay, I want to now explore this and this and this and that. And then maybe needing to break free from relationships as well. And if a relationship has been stale and it's not moving forward, this could be a time where relationships kind of break, because there's this urge to like, I'm suffocating. I need an out, or even some kind of social unrest within the groups of people you're like, I kind of don't fit in. I want more freedom. this is oppressing or weird. And then that could create a desire to throw the baby with the bathwater kind of thing. If you have already a relationship that it's, say, worth saving, and you feel these urges, this is a great time to look at it and see where are you needing freedom and how can you negotiate that with your partner or your twin. You know, how can you negotiate? Okay, I need more freedom, more space. Okay, maybe I'm going to go for a week on a retreat, you know, and that will bring back the energy. So this week could create those tensions as well, where people are exploring these new things or maybe getting involved in triangle situations or things of that kind that could come up with these new desires for freedom. And we're seeing the freedom theme as a very big theme lately as part of our evolutionary journey. That's kind of a part of it.
Well, we're moving into that self-sovereignty of this journey. So that is allowing us to be more liberated. And that's coming back into our own power.
And, you know, sexual liberation doesn't mean, again, promiscuity and craziness. It does require a lot of that responsible action with how we want our relationships to be. So yes, if we want freedom, then there is responsibility with freedom. What am I willing to honor in the others so that I can also have my freedom? And that's going to be a big part of it. It's not just, I just want this and F you, you know, and I'm, you know, it doesn't work like that. By the end of March, we're definitely going to have a big, again, huge openings of like third eye. This is the whole month is going to be this kind of opening. It feels like portals and portals and portals will open and open and open. We're going to have Neptune, Mercury, and Jupiter in Pisces. This is a recipe for psychic blast. You know? Or
third eye awakenings then, correct?
Lots of third eye awakenings. So you might have even feelings of sensations of extreme compassion towards each other, and maybe this genius ideas as well. There's going to be lots of throughout the month, maybe these eureka little moments. You get this idea. So this is why it's really good to do also, you know, when you do automatic writing, great month to get your little notebook and just write whatever comes through your mind, because that's when you really start channeling stuff. So it's great because it's not like you're thinking, you're letting the pen go, and there could be so many messages for you and for others in these practices. So great month for that. By the end of the month, there's going to be also relationship tests. So you see, it's like these great openings, maybe soulmates, twin flames, all this coming together. It seems great. And then the test, you know, how committed are you? How committed are you to the path? How committed are you to making things work? How committed are you, you know? Or it could feel oppressive and restrictive. So you see, is the interplay of these things. The theme of these 2 months is relationships, as Venus, Mars are still together. And the relationship begins with ourselves. That's the first relationship, you know. We've been talking about this for ages. So whatever I am in me, I will project outside and I will make the reality that you described come to life. And because there's this Aquarian theme, it's relationships probably in, again, group settings, communities, things like that are going to start forming more and more and more and more. This could be, again, long-term commitments and long-term partnerships that are starting to form. You know, again, it's Saturn and Venus together could mean many things. It could mean solid, committed for the long haul, but it could also mean, oh, stifled, I can't move, you know, I want to do what I want, but I really can't. So what side are you on? Like, okay, the commitment. And this definitely, the last card I pulled, another card which is very in tune with this freedom theme, you know. I pulled this one. It's called Rebirth, Personal Freedom Unleashed. Do you want to speak to this one, Harmony?
I do, because that was an image I was given for a book, one of the books I was writing through what was called Personal Freedom Unleashed in 2014. And I decided that I had to stop writing the book and go free my life before I could write about it. And so the very interesting thing is that's when the whole twin flame journey picked up, when I went through my dark night of the soul and went through multiple rebirths. And now that I think about this coming full circle in this month of this sort of giving birth to everything in the new, it doesn't surprise me that this whole card deck is coming out in March, which, by the way, for those of you that maybe don't know, the Twin Flame Ascension Oracle card deck that I had put together in 2016, and Tatiana had redone all the images and channeled in all the beautiful, beautiful light codes and everything into these images. It is coming out in March. And so you can definitely check out the links below to pre-order and reserve your deck, because it's going to sell out fast. And make sure to check that out so you can get your deck reserved. This whole journey has really went in such a way that it's unfolded in divine timing. So it doesn't surprise me that by traveling every part of my own journey with the deck, it does not surprise me that the deck is coming out in March of 2022, meaning it is time to birth. I mean, it has its own agenda for sure. And, you know, we both went through the process of the rebirth technically multiple times together, as we each did a part of this and even shuffled things back and forth through the writing and the artwork and the tweaks and all of the things that we did. So it's a beautiful time to enjoy, I would say, reaping the rewards of the work we've done as well. We need to really pause in this energy. And I've already been doing this, and I'm getting so teary-eyed saying this because what you said, I keep just revisiting the sense of where I've been and having so much gratitude and compassion for the pain and the experience, and emotions just flood me. I'll go through periods of time where I just wake up feeling so full and so much love just for anything and everything in the world, and I just cry. This is new to me. It's a new way. It's a new connection to my femininity, but it is literally the energy you're describing. And so, wow.
And that Piscean energy is going to flow all in the world. And Pisces is a feminine sign. It's a water sign. It's almost like a flood of that divine feminine.
It also represents the Pisces vesica, which is the vessel to hold and contain, the vessel of that masculine and femininity and that energy that's coming in from that liquid love. The thing about that is, from when we get the shattered heart, our heart never mends exactly. It creates the space within it for us to put that pain into a purpose, and that pain then through our path becomes a gift back, and we experience more compassion, empathy, divine love that is so big you can't contain in anything, but you can feel it as it fills up that vessel inside of you, and you now are the vessel of that love. And that's why we have to do this within ourselves, to have the loving relationships that this energy is setting us up to have. And we've been talking about this, like you said, for years, and many videos is okay, this is it, but this is the next level of it. But it's the embodiment and the integration of it that is bringing it to a collective scale that it has never been before.
And I'm really surprised that, not surprised. Now I'm oh, of course, divine timing. That is within this Mars-Venus conjunction that it's so long. It's almost like this is it. This is the time of that twin flame Eros Gamos, of that twin flame union, of all of that. And hopefully this will be guidance for those that are just awakening to that concept. And
I think it's the confirmation, because it's when this Mars and Venus conjunction right now, and the way it's paralleling and moving through this portal of the time of the collective and our individual selves, this is the confirmation that this is real, people. This is really happening. And we're creating a rhythm within ourselves and our life, a rhythm with partnership and love. And it is real, and it's coming into your physical form. And so many people are not just waking up now, they're literally living this concept in their life on a daily basis.
And once we align with divine love, you said the word, this whole energy is divine love. Is that kind of energy, is divine love. And yeah, people are gonna feel huge also heart expansions. And I'm wearing my little heart, are gonna feel like hearts are gonna the heart chakra. And I feel it's like the higher heart.
Yes.
Where I was preparing for the video, I had this zoom and that I needed to talk about the higher heart, which is a little bit higher up.
Goes all the way up to the sinus cavity from here to here. Yeah.
The energy goes like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sinus gland, and how that is going to also massively activate. And again, I'm saying this from like download that I got. Don't quote me on that for anything else. I just got this flash of insight to speak about that higher heart really getting a boost with this Piscean energy.
Well, this energy we're talking about from this higher love and divine liquid love can only come from the higher heart. You've had to basically heal enough of your lower dense energy that you were talking about in order for your heart to become the seat of the soul, and your heart to now be the root chakra of your higher self. And now from that place, it activates and it opens and expands the higher heart, which is the only way to connect to the unified field from within yourself into all that is, and experience the liquid love.
And the last thing I want to say is like, don't be surprised if you feel so connected to everything that you stop actually searching for a person or something to complete you, because this is kind of how I've been feeling more and more and more. There's no more like looking for something outside. It's very strange, but it's real. It's happening. It's not, I'm making it up. The more life goes by, I've always questioned this twin flame journey as very curious, because who's my twin? To this date, I really don't know. And to this day, my answer is, well, it is myself, and whoever is the plant, the flower, the dog, the person. And that can be kind of like controversial within the twin flame community, but it's the love is so immense. That's the thing. When we're tapped in, when we're not, it's very different. Very low, low, low. But when we're tapped in, it's so, the love is indescribable. So I think this is something that's now available, fully available on the planet.
And we're moving it into the collective, as I mentioned. So this is not just about enough people have experienced and tapped into this liquid love and became the vessel for it, that now we're taking that into the higher consciousness of the collective. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Tatiana. This is going to be a beautiful, graceful month. Please let us know how you're navigating this fluid flow, Pisces energy, and any magic that you're doing to create for this month. Let us know. Make sure to check out
your personal freedom too.
Yes. It's unleashed, so make sure to check out all the ways that you can connect with Tatiana below, and especially get plugged into her evolutionary astrology report birth chart reading in order for you to really use that as your soul blueprint, so you can actually align that with the energy, and it can help you understand on a level about yourself of what it is you truly came here to do and how you can unlock that within yourself. Powerful, powerful stuff. I've had this with her and it is just so powerful, and all the feedback I've gotten is so amazing. So thank you, Tatiana. May you guys always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. We'll see you in the next video. Namaste.